Yeah. All right, you ready to get started, sir?
No,
No? Okay.
I need a drink of water.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're gonna like the slams on this one, Sonny. If you like slams, you better listen to this fucking CD.
What is up, my dudes? It's your boy Skinny Penis, and I'm here with the man himself, Big Daddy Long Cock over here, Brandon Smith of Agonal Breathing. I am so excited to have you on the channel, sir. It is a pleasure, and thank you for joining me and letting me waste some of your time.
Yep, thank you, dude.
So, just gonna say right now, this is the first over a video call interview that we've ever done. So this is 100% a learning experience. So if there's issues with the audio or whatnot, you can blame me. You know, this was kind of my safari. But you have a new album coming out, and we're going to get more into that in a little bit. But we're just going to kind of go through the history of your band. We're going to get some fan questions in that were submitted and some of my personal questions and whatnot. Sound good?
Yep.
All right, cool. So I guess we'll start from the very beginning. When did the band Agonal Breathing form, and how did you and Lewis meet?
It's formed at the very beginning of 2017. I actually met him in a slam group on Facebook. He was advertising slam tracks for like $10 a track. So I hit him up and I was like, "Hey, dude, let's do a song or two and see if it's good." I paid him, I think, $20 for the first song, and I recorded that night that I got it, sent it back to him, and by the morning time, he hit me up and was like, "Hey, let's form a band." And that's pretty much that. I mean, it was so fast and simple that was it.
Right. It's almost as simple as someone hitting a blunt and saying, "Dude, let's start a band."
It kind of was like it was like a virtual handshake.
Right. Awesome, man. Okay, so who are your biggest influences as musicians? I imagine, him being the guitar player and whatnot, it's a little different for him, but for you, who would you say your biggest influences are?
It's hard to pinpoint my influences. I listen to so much stuff, and I always have, even since I was young. Like my dad always listened to Metallica and rock and fucking Creed and shit. And I remember being like 10 years old, and my dad and his friends were partying, and they come into the house and they're like, "Hey, Brandon, you gotta hear this new song, man. It's fucking badass, dude. I tell you what, bro. That shit on MTV2, dog. They playing that shit right now." I was like, "Oh God, let's listen to this shit." So I turn it on and it's fucking Disturbed's fucking Stupefy.
Oh, nice.
And I was a young kid, and that's one of my few memories of actually like, oh, metal's badass. I want to do metal.
Right.
So a lot of that early 90s, late 90s metal and rock is what I would say influences me. I don't really get influenced by people in my scene.
Right.
A lot of rap too.
A lot of rap too. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
We'll get more into the outside metal influences because I do want to talk to about that because it seems like a lot of extreme metal guys listen to a ton of stuff that is not extreme metal, and
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. But we'll go ahead and hit a couple of the fan questions that I saw. Like between the two of us, we made several posts on Facebook, Instagram, and different groups and whatnot. We had a couple hits. This is an Instagram user, so I don't know this guy's actual name, but his Instagram name is Incest and Destructions. He asks, "How long have you been doing vocals, and how many vocal techniques and sound variations do you know?"
Shit. It started in high school, probably 2007, 2008. I was around 16 or 17, and I didn't really take it seriously until 2011 or so. And that's when I decided like I wanted to be a vocalist. So back at that time, I was listening to a lot of, like Metallica and shit like that. And I just got into Slipknot, started listening to deathcore. All the brutal stuff wasn't there for me yet. I mean, I'd heard Cannibal Corpse, but back in those days, I thought it was fucking retarded because I didn't know what it was.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, I'm going to be a deathcore vocalist, bro. So I really focused on trying to do vocals, I'd say like junior and senior year of high school. And I could never quite grasp how to do highs. So I focused on doing lows, gutturals, and never really found my spot in the deathcore scene. I didn't really care for it a whole lot. I just liked random parts of it, not as a whole.
Right.
So when I found like brutal death metal and slam and I heard it through a trained ear, not at 13, 14, uh, it just kind of clicked. And pig squeals and gutturals for me all day. I can't do anything else. Don't ask me to. It's all exhale. I can't fathom doing inhales. I know lots of people do. Got 7 different techniques, but I just make fart noises and I'm good, bro.
So you always stick to the lower end of vocals then? Because I
Yeah,
did.
I tend to keep more extreme on the vocal
Right.
range. It's either really high or really low.
Right. No, I listened to all of your discography leading up to this, and
Oh,
even like the stuff you featured on. I didn't listen to all those because holy shit, there's a lot of stuff you featured on. But I
yeah.
listened to all the agonal breathing material, and I noticed that there wasn't a whole lot of highs there, but the lows that are done well. That's what matters, is as long as what's on there is done well.
Yeah, and it fits the style too.
Right.
A lot of people complain about my vocal deliveries, like lack of complexity, and I just I don't want to do anything that I couldn't do like right in front of somebody.
Right.
So I just spit what I can spit.
Right. Now, agonal breathing, being two guys that live thousands of miles from each other, this isn't a live project by any means, is it?
No, there's been um, talks by like Brutal Mind, a couple other people were interested in actually having us do like a fest where we got flown out and were able to perform together. But realistically, without being together for a month or so and rehearsing and stuff, I wouldn't want to really do that.
Right.
I did at one point have a live lineup set up for a West Coast tour right before COVID hit. I had a drummer, a bassist, guitarist. I mean, like we were almost ready to go and gonna announce it and everything. Made the flyer, booked like over half the shows, and they were all from the states. They're all from like Pacific Northwest, um, Oregon, Washington, Northern California, and we were just gonna do a run up and down the West Coast, and that got shit on by COVID. And ever since then, I just kind of stuck to my little man cave doing gutturals in my closet.
Right. The next fan submission we had was from Isaiah Estep. I'm not sure if I know how to pronounce this guy's last name or not. And the sad thing is he's from the same city as me, so I should know this.
It's cool.
He asks, do you and Lewis prefer shitting or farting, and do you disagree on which one's better?
I have no fucking clue.
Okay.
I like to.
Yeah, he made me promise to ask that question, so I went ahead and threw that in there. But personally, I mean, I love both.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with like a fart that like is so good that it scratches your butthole for you. But
Oh my
I like.
god, it is
I
it
want
is.
to stretch like. Only exit though. I don't want it to go up. There's good ones coming out.
All right. This is another question I saw on one of your posts. It's from Crustin Scadams. He wants to know how many pornos you featured in 1979.
I told him already not a whole lot in '79, but after that, I got pretty prolific.
Okay. Awesome.
Several homemade, unreleased.
So somewhere in a vault somewhere there is unreleased Brandon Smith pornos that the world may never see.
Old ancient laptop. Millions of years from now, aliens gonna find that shit and be like, "He was one of us, bro." That dong.
All right, awesome. Tannen Klein asks, "What genres of music outside of metal do you enjoy?"
Oh, just about all of them except for modern country and modern pop.
I can get behind that.
I like really old country, like 60s, 70s, 80s, some 90s.
Right.
I like rap from like its birth to, I'll be a snob and say like 2005. I don't know. I don't like a whole lot of the newer shit.
Right.
I like hardcore gangster rap and vaporwave. I discovered that a few years back, and that's honestly been one of the most enjoyable music forms for me because I can listen to a song in a completely different way. You hear it on the radio, and that's how it's supposed to sound. But after you are exposed to like vaporwave and stuff, you just hear it in a new way. And I started making vaporwave, and I got pretty in depth with it for a while, and then I just got back to focusing on slam. So I'd say a lot of just about anything you can put on, I could probably vibe with.
Right. Are there any artists in particular outside of the genres of metal that you'd say really influenced like the way you think about music?
No,
Okay, so next question is, tell me about like the writing process of the first album, the first couple of singles, and what was it like working with someone, clear across the world that you can't really see whenever the moment hits you?
well, for Pure Agony, our first album, it was really my first foray into doing something like all the way through. A lot of my projects kind of stalemated because I lost interest, or somebody else lost interest, or I didn't have a way to record, blah blah blah. But in 2017, 2016, I bought a microphone, and I was like, if I'm going to do this, it's time to start doing it. And like I said, I met Lewis in the Facebook group, Slamming Brutal Death Metal Community, that I admin, excuse me. And I was like, dude, let's make some songs. And when he hit me up saying, hey, let's form a band, shit, within a week or two, he had sent me 3 songs, I think. And those were the 3 that we originally had uploaded. Um, Brutalized esophageal remains, transurethral prostatectomy impalement, and an untitled intro song, which was actually the first song that we recorded together. The one I paid $20 for, the worst song ever. And fucking uh, over the summer of 2017 was when we recorded Pure Agony, and it was kind of like honestly a really shitty time in my life. So I'd say that recording that really helped me focus on something positive and shit, because I was like drinking every day and fucking getting just fucked up all the time. And I was surprised that I was able to keep a clear head long enough to like communicate with this dude and get something good going that I liked and that he liked, which was just so rare for me. Like I felt really let down by music for a long time. When I started doing it, it was kind of like shit. I don't know, dude. It was like open a bag of chips. You eat one, you want to eat another one, you eat another one, eat another one, eat another one. So yeah, we recorded Pure Agony pretty fucking quickly. Um, I sent it to a few people, I think over email, yeah, because somebody eventually uploaded that shit to a Russian fucking bootleg site, and I had people hitting me up like day and night, like, "Hey, bro, your album's getting pirated," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, man. I'm glad people like it." Fucking, this guy from Canada hit me up and was like, "Hey, dude, want me to make some CDs? I will." And I was like, "Oh no, thanks, man. I'm gonna do it." And then a couple other labels hit me up, and they all progressively got like better and better offers
Hmm.
to us. Eventually, Lord of the Sick hit us up and said, "Hey, dude, we'll do this. We'll buy new art. We'll do that. Make shirts." And I mean, that was it. Pure Agony was like literally just like a fucking asteroid hitting the earth for me, dude. It boom, it was done.
Kind of came out of nowhere. So you didn't
Yeah,
expect it to blow up the way it did.
no, not at all. I think a lot of the songs on there I think are kind of boring.
I mean, a musician is their own worst critic. I personally, I mean, it's definitely got its flaws, you know. It's not a perfect album, but it's very enjoyable. It's something I enjoy listening to that I can listen to multiple times and not really get bored with it. So,
Yeah, and what's crazy about Pure Agony is everybody sees me. They don't really see Lewis a whole lot because he's in Venezuela fucking working all the time. And if he ain't working, he's up in the lab making trap beats and shit and mixing music for me. And um, so a lot of them were like, "Oh, you could have done this, you could have done that." And I'm like, "Dude, I didn't write any of this music. Like that's a 17-year-old kid in Venezuela, and all I did was go over it. He fucking mixed it really well, and we made it sound like our own shit. And after people learned that he was so young and from Venezuela, that like wasn't me and some buddy down the street, uh, people really kind of like, I don't know, I guess saw it through a different lens because it got accepted a bit more. I think whenever it first came out, people were like, "Oh, it's fucking boring. Oh, that snare is the only reason it's popular." And as as people learned more about us and heard more, it was like, yeah, it's got its flaws, but this is a young kid making this album, and he's doing a fucking good job at it.
right.
And really proud to be a part of Pure Agony whenever it actually blew up, because I think if it was just me behind the project, it wouldn't have blown up. It was Lewis or Luisto, however you say that shit.
You may not consider yourself. I consider you somewhat established in the extreme metal community at this point. I mean, you've released several. I mean, you have a bunch of projects and you've done a ton of features. So you have a little bit of wisdom under your belt, even if you may not really think of yourself that way. What advice would you offer a newer young band just trying to get started, like in your genre, in the slamming brutal death metal world?
Practice 100% all the time. When I was learning vocals, dude, I literally walked around doing gutturals in the hallways, and people would be like, "What the fuck is that?" Some of my friends would be like, "Brandon, it's guttural." Fucking from across the hallway, everybody just started laughing. But to me, it was cool. So if you're a guitarist or a drummer, vocalist, whatever, practice your shit, learn about it, do it. That's all I can say, because that's where my success comes from.
Now we know that musicians don't always like to hear the word practice, but it is important.
Oh yeah. I mean, I still practice every single day.
Good.
I haven't recorded in like fucking 6 months because my computer's been down.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I still do gutturals at least an hour a day.
Sweet. So you've done a lot of features over the years, as we talked about earlier. Um, and as I was looking through Slam Worldwide, if I just type in agonal breathing into the search bar of Slam Worldwide's YouTube channel, I mean, a ton of stuff comes up that you've been a part of. And two that really stood out to me were Human Barbecue and Guttural Slug. Um,
Yeah.
Now I'm a little later on the Guttural Slug train because I'm a little later on the slamming brutal death metal in the slam world. But how did you go about making those type of connections with people that have been doing it a long time and that are very popular in their genre?
Well, with Human Barbecue, I actually think Dimitri from Reality Fade hooked us up with that. And I'm not sure if Jason, the dude that does Human Barbecue, was like, "Hey, I want Brandon to do a feature," or if Dimitri was like, "Hey, Brandon will sound good on this song," blah blah blah. But that's how Human Barbecue came about. The one for I think you're talking about esophagectomy, guttural slug.
Yeah.
Okay, I've known Mikkel for pretty much the whole time I've been like doing extreme music. So not quite 10 years, but I've had him on Facebook forever. I don't know how it happened. but him and I are the same age, and we have a lot of we're pretty similar in a lot of ways, like taste wise and personality wise. And I always when I first heard his good old slug, Megalodon, he was like 16 when he wrote that shit.
Wow.
So I thought it was really cool, and he actually hit me up to do the vocal feature, and I really like to do features because I get kind of bored doing the same thing all the time. I think features and like EPs is where I need to stay. Motherfuckers keep trying to get me to do albums and shit, and I just don't like to do it, but I do it. And all the other ones, pretty much the same way. Like I don't know how I make these random connections with these people, but even before Agonal Breathing, I just had a tons of dudes in the underground metal scene, like on MySpace, on fucking MSN Messenger, on fucking old school Facebook and Instagram now, and all this stupid shit. I have no clue why. Like I have all these great connections. I just do.
Right.
I think the wonder of the fucking internet, man.
Right. I mean, that's how I've met half the people I know now about, I mean, especially on this channel and whatnot. Is like, I don't even remember how you and I met. You just kind of showed up one day, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Well,
hey.
I do know that like a lot of people say I'm kind of like charismatic or whatever, and I do try to like be a nice person and not judge people's like music and shit because I've had a lot of people hit me up asking for features, and it's fucking garbage, and I don't want to tell them that, but I'm also not going to do vocals on a song that I don't like.
Right.
So even people that I kind of like offend or whatever, they find it kind of I don't know, I guess enchanting, I guess, that I was honest with them and said, "Hey, I don't like this. This ain't my style, man." Because now when people hit me up for a vocal feature, I say, "Is it slammy?" And it's like, and I'm like, "Nah, probably not, dog. But let me hear it." I don't know. It just seems like people think I'm some nice guy, and I'm really not. But I just try to be polite.
Right.
Like I'm a super prick, but you wouldn't know it on the internet.
So this upcoming album, which can you share the title with me?
Yeah.
Which is
Bloodthirsty mutilation.
Bloodthirsty Mutilation. Okay. I think you told me in messages the other day, but I didn't remember. So
It's actually the same title from what it was originally going to be whenever we planned on doing an album instead of a promo in 2019. And we revealed art and everything. And then the label was like, hey, let's put out a promo instead. So the Bloodthirsty Mutilation kind of got put on the back burner. We started a new project with the EP or promo, whatever you want to call it, Suffocated and Digested. And when it came back to doing the album, I still had the theme of swamps and alligators and snakes and frogs and fucking getting killed by like jungle creatures and shit in my head. So I was
right.
like, hey, let's stick with the bloodthirsty mutilation, but let's get some new artwork done for it. Because by this time that art had been around for almost 3 years, and I didn't want to use it. I wanted something fresh for people to get excited about.
Right.
Bloodthirsty mutilation was just like so fitting for all the ideas I had in my head because I kind of like make a theme for each of our releases. Like Pure Agony was more medically dissecting like chicks and dudes. The split we did was more about being torn apart by Bigfoot. Suffocated and Digested was about being eaten by a snake. Um, and this bloodthirsty mutilation is kind of a combination of all these jungle ideas I've been having for a long time, like snakes, alligators, all that shit. So it just seemed kind of natural to stick with that, even though it's kind of like played out in my mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not fresh at all to me, but in order to get back in like that mind state of the full album, all this shit I want to do, we stuck with Bloodthirsty Mutilation.
Awesome. So with it being almost 5 years at the moment of this recording since you put out Pure Agony. Was the band ever on any kind of hiatus, or were you just kind of biding your time writing the newer material?
Okay, I am really bad ADHD, so it's hard for me to like fucking stick to something. And man, at the time of us getting signed to Brutal Mind to do the full album, holy shit, I was like 5 albums deep, like in the recording process. Extended Putrefaction, one that never got released. And I was doing all these fucking features and shit at the same time. So I was like really not wanting to do vocals all the time. Like I would do it once a week instead of 3, 4 nights a week and finish up this release. And another thing that compounded the long wait time for this new album is Lewis is fucking slow. I mean, he's got his own life going on, and I don't talk shit on him. I don't disrespect him. But when motherfuckers hit me up, like, where's that album? I'll be like, dude, I've been done recording for 6 months. That motherfucker is sitting on Lewis's computer somewhere, dog. And like when he gets the time, he will do it.
Right.
But that is, kind of the drawback of being an internet band is, you can't like go over to your homie's house and work on it.
Yeah.
You gotta rely on somebody else. And I'm not gonna say that I'm the fastest, worker either. Like I said, I have my own delays with my own mental shit. And obviously this kid, he lives in Venezuela, which is like on the brink of civil war for the past 5 years. Um, it just took a long fucking time, and I wish it didn't, because when we actually are making music together, it's such a fast process. But if we can't focus on it cohesively, then it's just like this last release, and it just fucking drags on and on and on. And like I said, I also had like 3 other albums I was doing, and it all got kind of overwhelming, and I just put it to the side and said, I'll do it when I feel like doing it. And then once I got it done, I guess Lewis kind of, had his things going on and was like, put it to the side. We'll do it when he has time to do it. So yeah, it ended up taking a long fucking time for the new one, like 2019 to now. And I don't know if it's going to get released this year, honestly.
Right. What can we expect different from the new album as opposed to your previous work?
Well, that's a hard question to answer. I really wanted all the best elements of all of our releases to be on this new album. Um, like Pure Agony had a lot of slow parts and fast parts, and then it had songs that were slow and fast. It had songs that were just slow, just fast, a lot of combinations. So I really like that about Pure Agony. And Pure Agony has my favorite snare of all of our releases. I don't really like the boom, stupid church bell shit, but it does sound cool. It's just to me not as cool.
Snare feel
Rampage,
pain.
yeah, it really fucking does. Rampage was like a bit more technical for Lewis's writing, um, guitar wise, drums, everything. But it still had those really, really fucking gnarly slams. So I was like, put a little bit of technicality into this new shit, because Suffocate and Digested, although I really like those songs, I maybe I've heard them too much, but they just kind of wore out on me, and I can only find 1 or 2 redeeming factors in that whole release for me, and that is like the newer mix, um, the better samples, Lewis putting a little bit of a trap beat in there. Like I thought that was kind of cool. It was definitely unique. Um, but Suffocate and Digested should have just been 3 songs on this new album, in my opinion. But since we, did what we did, I just wanted Bloodthirsty Mutilation to fucking take all of our best things, make them better, and then add something new to it. So I think with Bloodthirsty, um, there's going to be a few things that people find familiar about it, and there's going to be things that are new. We definitely experimented with my vocals a little bit more. not like my actual delivery or anything, but like in the mix. We try to make it kind of atmospheric sounding. Sometimes that kind of takes away from the actual delivery of it. Other times it enhances it. Like I said, I'm. You said it the best. I'm my own worst fucking critic. Like I could tear this shit apart all day long for you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I ultimately really like every song on this album, like I used to like Pure Agony. So I know in the back of my mind, like it's good.
Right. It's something you can
But
be proud of.
yeah, but I don't want to be like, oh, you're gonna like the slams on this one, Sonny. If you like slams, you better listen to this fucking CD. Like I'm not that guy. But when I'm promoting my shit, you can't fucking half step it. You gotta be like, yo, check out this fucking retarded slam shit, bro, now. And people will be like, oh fuck, dude, it's gonna be stupid, and they'll listen to it. If you're going to be like, hey guys, this is my slam band and just put out this new song. It's kind of experimental a little bit. Like fucking nobody's gonna give you the time of day. So yeah, with this new album, dude, it was an experimentation a lot with my vocals, and I hope people actually like it because, like I said, it can be kind of off-putting at some points, in my opinion, but at other points, it makes the whole sound
Right.
like it's extremely atmospheric. I think.
Right. I love atmospheric shit. That actually, I'm a little horny now. Okay, so if you had to sum up what this album is about in a sentence or two, what would that be?
Jungle brutality. That's it, bro. I don't even need a sentence.
Jungle brutality, animals ripping people to shreds, each other.
Fucking being eaten by a snake and shit it out into a python turd. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Getting your fucking arm ripped off by an alligator. Take your pick, bro. Getting
That's
fucking killed by a poisonous dart frog. I don't know. Dying in the Amazon forest. How about that? That's a good one. That's pretty fucking broad.
There we go. Yeah, there's plenty of ways to die in the Amazon. Um,
That's true.
so do we have an official release date at this time, or is that to be announced?
I talked to Denny 2 days ago whenever I got all of the finished tracks, and he said he will look at the schedule and he wants to do it this year. I'm not sure about that. I don't want um, anything to be rushed now that it's done. Like we spent a long time making it, not just procrastinating making it. We put a lot of fucking effort into it. I know Lewis did. He really went above and beyond in the post production, and the writing itself is really really fucking good. But I want everything to be ready upon release. Like with Brutal Mind and some of these other labels, they have these long pre-order periods, and oh, buy the CD, but the shirt's gonna show up 3 months later. Shit like that.
Yeah.
So I told him, I was like, it might be a bit unorthodox, but I would like to have the merch made, the whatever you're gonna do else, all ready to go. So whenever people hear it for the first time and decide they want to buy it, they can go and buy it, and they will get it fairly soon. So I want it to be ready completely at a later date, but I think he's kind of leaning towards maybe sometime this year. I'm really looking forward to any fucking time. I mean, he could say tomorrow and I'd be happy with it. I'd accept it. Or he could say, let's do it January 1st next year, and I'd be just as happy. I just don't want people to wait a whole long time just to get it physically.
Right. That makes sense, and I appreciate that coming from someone who has bought shit and then had to wait 3 or 4 months for it to show up.
Yeah.
And I understand. People have their process. It's a business. Things happen in the world, especially when you do international shipping and whatnot. But it's so satisfying when you can order something and it's there in a couple of days and you can have it then and you don't have to wait months on it.
Yeah, I felt a little uncomfortable. I felt kind of like I was making a demand of him, but I wasn't really. I was just like, is this a possibility for us to, have everything ready to go like day one? And we're still waiting to hear back from him. Um, He's generally pretty fucking open to anything we want to do. I mean, he was the one that suggested making a promo. I didn't want to do it at first, but he's like, pimp, I'll buy you some fucking new art. We'll make some shirts, we'll make some flags. I was like, okay, cool. People like merch. People like shit. So when I approached him with the, hey, let's have all this ready and stuff, like I said, I felt kind of like maybe I was being a little pushy, but I think he'll probably see my side of it. And hopefully we can get a release date like within the next few days. Like I've been fucking waiting.
That would be awesome. Because, man, especially after going through and listening to all of your stuff, because I mean, whenever I get ready for these interviews, I listen to all the stuff over and over, just really sink into it, and it makes me excited. Like listening from your very first single to pure agony to some of your other stuff that you've released and some of your features, the improvement and the quality has slowly just been, it's been going up with every release, and it makes me excited for when the next release is coming.
Yes, me too. I agree with you.
Right. So
Times I am a little too harsh on my own shit.
right, I think everyone can be. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've like recorded stuff and then just straight up deleted it because I didn't think it was good enough to put. Like,
Hell yeah.
So I mean, I've have probably 60 videos I've done in the last year or so that never made it to the channel just because I wasn't happy with it.
I feel you there.
So
That's why I don't write lyrics, bro, because I think they're goofy. I feel
okay.
like Corpse over there fucking, my penis is bleeding.
I shoot blood from my cock.
It falls off and fucking, I see your throat pipe. Your butthole has in it.
So I guess you kind of summed up part of my other question was there going to be a merch drop with the release?
Fuck, I hope so, bro. With Brutal Mind, they are a big merch company. Just like Fat Tub of Lard, just like Reality Fade. These are really merch oriented fucking releases they put out. And I think with our Suffocated and Digested, it kind of surprised Denny a little bit. Everybody was blown away by Pure Agony, of course. Uh, but I don't think he expected Suffocated and Digested to do as well as it did. So whenever all that shit disappeared real quick, we started talking a little bit, and I think there's going to be a pretty significant fucking merch drop on the new album. Uh, I would like it to be at least t-shirts, hoodies, shorts, long sleeves, you know,
Right.
all this because I collect all my own shit, bro. I got
Yeah,
damn near every shirt done.
I see the Pure Agony flag. Can you still buy the off topic? Like this probably isn't part of the interview. Can you still buy the Pure Agony flags?
Fuck no, dog. Them long gone.
Fuck. See, that's the shitty part about being late on the train.
I don't even know who was selling those.
Yeah, that's
I
part of the.
think uh,
That's one of the shitty things about being late on the train of especially like the slamming brutal bands is like once it's gone, it's gone. You know.
oh yeah. And that is a really good thing to do in Slam is put out some fucking limited shit because if you're a real fan, you're gonna buy it.
Yeah, you can't buy these anymore. Like,
Yeah, whether it's a CD, a flag, a hat, and it's not to make money or anything. It's just to get something from that band.
right, right.
Because I don't make shit on merch, dude. I fucking most of the time pay out of pocket,
Yep.
but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. But it is cool to see other people wearing your stuff.
That's right. I'd give it to him if I could afford it.
Yeah. No,
No shit.
I've become a very big merch collector, especially since the channel has started to pick up speed. Um, I one of my favorite things is when like I refuse payment from people and they just send me a shirt, and
Yep.
so I have a closet just full of band merch, and that's all I own is band merch. It's just
I got so much of it that I just kind of quit buying it. I'm fuck. I mean, I'm wearing shirts that I've worn twice since I bought them 5 years ago. I got
yeah,
probably 200 shirts and like 50 pairs of shorts, 20 fucking hoodies, and it's a bit much. so I kind of quit buying it. Now, if I want to support a band, I try to just buy their music.
Right.
But I can't help a fucking badass, logo shirt or a sick ass pair of shorts or something. Like, I like the aesthetic of that stuff, and I can see why some people be like, yo, I want all this shit from this band. I want all this shit from this band. I
Right.
definitely used to be like that whenever I was a little bit younger.
Right.
Kind of like this old man, and I'm like, I don't know if I should walk around with a penis on my shirt. I gotta go to Casey's. You know what I'm saying? Gotta pick up a pizza.
Oh my god. Um, off topic, but my t-shirts say "I'm scared, also horny" on the back, and one of my buddies tagged me in a Facebook post from his wife, who I don't know, and it it was a picture of her wearing my shirt, and it said, "Note to self: don't just grab one of your husband's t-shirts and then wear it while you go to PTA meetings."
Yeah, no shit.
And then I saw, to my horror, the back of my shirt, and she had worn it to fucking PTA meetings and shit.
Was it easy to read? It wasn't like slam text. It was just
No, it's
fucking.
dude. I'm wearing it right now. Like,
I'm sure the parents love that one.
no, they didn't. She had a good sense of humor about it. I mean, it wasn't like she was mad or anything, but like,
Husband stuff. You'll never grow up.
all right. I guess the last thing we have was, can we get a sneak peek of this new album?
You sure can. Is there a track on there that I know I sent you the whole thing, but is there a track on there like you want to check out?
Um,
Title based alone, maybe.
there was one that I looked at that I was like, all right, we got to talk about this one. Yes, Dissolved in Bile.
Yeah, that's about being inside a crocodile.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna play it, and
Go ahead.
if you're cool, we'll listen to the
Is
song in
that
its.
five?
Huh?
Is that track 5? I can't remember.
6.
Track 5 is Blast Beat City.
Blast Beats. Ooh, Interminable Death Roll. Oh man. Okay, your choice. Which one do we do?
The only fair way to solve a debate is rock, paper, scissors in my world.
Okay.
Rock.
Rock, paper, scissors. Shit. What the hell are you doing? You know what? Fine. We'll do song number 5.
Any of those songs on there, like I said, I'm pretty proud of this album. Like I don't know if you've listened to any of it yet, but yeah, definitely.
I have not. I saved it for this moment. Let's do
Just please.
let's do track number 5. Let's check this out.
I won anyway.
Any day now, if it wants to play. Got little scrapes in there. This is slammy.
Yeah, I think so.
Blast. Oh my god.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, man.
Rip it.
Makes me want to fight an alligator.
Yeah. Makes me want to fight my dad. Come on, Dad.
Okay. That's nasty.
Yep.
I love the drums on this. This is cool.
Yeah, I like the sound of the snare a lot.
Yeah.
When it's blast.
Ooh.
Fucking intense, bro. It's like camp.
That is dirty.
Hell yeah. Oh man. If you got a look on your face like you're gonna shit your pants, it's probably good.
Trying not to. Ah, this makes me so horny. Okay, I'm good.
Oh boy. I already filled my shoes listening to that motherfucker 2-3 times the other day.
Holy shit. Okay. Man, you weren't kidding. Definitely a much more atmospheric feel to it. It was also, in my opinion, more technical than the stuff on Pure Agony. There was a lot of switch ups in the guitar work that kind of kept things interesting too.
Yeah.
Lots of timing changes. Blast Beat City. The pauses in the drum work was also really cool. I love pauses.
Oh yeah, I like how
Yeah.
I like the pauses too.
I like stuff like Breaking Benjamin, how everything will cut out for like half a second and they'll all come back in at the same time. I love that shit. There's like perfectly timed stops and pauses or just it pleases me. So that was a hell of a preview of this album. I gotta say that's my favorite song now by you guys. Um, that overall energy of that song was just incredible. It was disgustingly heavy, just disrespectful, ignorantly heavy, and I loved it, every bit of it. Brandon, thank you so much for joining me today. And before we wrap this up, is there anything else you would like to say?
No, not really. I appreciate you fucking hitting me up and communicating with me and setting all this up and stuff. You said this is your first video interview. This is my first video interview. This is my second interview total ever. But no, man, I had a good time. I appreciate it, and I'd just like to shout out, like, Brutal Mind and Lord of the Sick recordings and Slam Worldwide and shit like that for hooking Agonal Breathing up with some promotion and shit. All the homies out there, they know who they are.
Right. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching if you're still here. And if you liked it, go ahead and follow Agonal Breathing. And when the pre-orders are available, pre-order that shit and get yourself something. Because once it's gone, it's gone. Trust me, I can't find any of the old stuff anywhere.
Nope.
So, Skinny Penis out.
Skinny penis.